Hi guys, it's Paula from PSE Creations. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're returning. Today's video is a flip through of a Beauty and the Beast junk journal that I made using a VHS uh, insert. So I think I've showed one of these before, a flip through of one of these before on my channel. This was, if you remember the old VHS tapes, they came in that plastic white like container, and that plastic white container, the outside part of it had like a clear plastic cover over it, and in that plastic cover was this paper that showed, about the movie that was inside the plastic container. I've been making junk journals using those covers, and I have a blast. This was the first one that I've done that was for Beauty and the Beast. So the tie is just a piece of sari silk that is just loosely tied around. It's not attached, so you can do what you'd like if you don't like the color scheme or anything of it. So again, this is the cover. I apologize for the glare of the VHS. I did sew all the way around. There is lace on the spine, and you have a little bit of vintage rickrack right there. And here is the back. The lace kind of covers a good portion, probably 3/4 of the back, but here you can see the barcode, the runtime of the movie, just the general details that always come with the VHS covers. All right, and then on the inside, I covered the inside with felt, so that adds reinforcement. So I have the VHS cover itself, the paper cover. Then I have a manila folder, which is, it's not a really thick manila folder. It's more on the thinner side of a manila folder. And then on top of that, I have the felt that is pretty thick in itself. So, and then that's sewn all the way around. The front cover and the back cover have little vintage lace pockets that I created, sewed around just to keep them there. I mean, glue could have done it too. I just sewed. And let me show. So this pocket just has a vintage flashcard, just a little time card. I believe I got these at the Dollar Tree, but I think these are cute to put in. A piece of just blue paper, writing paper. And I kind of stuck to like a pink and blue kind of theme for this journal. Yeah, I know Belle's dress is yellow, and that's kind of how she's known, but I kind of stuck to a pink and blue theme for it, just going off of the cover. So the first page of both signatures, oh, if I didn't mention, there's two signatures. Both pages start off, or both signatures, I apologize, start off with a cardstock, double-sided cardstock that has roses, pink roses. And I made a pocket in both of them. This is a vintage soap maker's little card. So this was obviously probably glued into a scrapbook or something at some point in time. And this is a very old grocery receipt. And I know that it's old because the paper is very fragile. This was actually one piece, but it broke into two. I did gesso it to give it so you'll feel a little bit of texture on it, but it also gives it some sturdiness. But I thought this is cool because now you have two little writing sheets. So I added those. We have coffee dyed paper. I did want to also mention that I did round the corners. I think it just gives it, so the cover itself was rounded, this particular VHS cover. So I went ahead and rounded the corners of the pages as well. So we have coffee dyed paper. This is a reproduction invoice. And as you all know, I love adding my little junk mail pockets. So here's a little junk mail pocket. It has a little Belle stamp. This was a cutout of the rose from another Beauty and the Beast book. And then I made this tag. These tags on this book, I went with the manila folder just because they're a little bit thinner. So they're backed into a manila folder, sewn all the way around. And this is our friend, the teapot. Dream beautiful, happy memories. I loved that. I loved when I put the words down, I'm like, oh, that's perfect. So, and that's on a vintage music sheet. We have a vintage unused ledger page here. Black bean dyed paper, so it has like a blue tint to it. This is just lined writing paper, and I think this was food dyed. This was a Franken page, so I took 2 book pages and kind of Franken glued them together, and then I gessoed on one side of it and decoupaged a cutout napkin of a flower. And then on the other side of it, you will see that I just collaged. So plenty of room for you to write on here or maybe to do your own decorating. This is just stamped. I didn't want to leave it just white. And this is actually an adult coloring page. It's a beautiful angel with the birds. And so I didn't want to leave that white. So I went ahead and stamped it using a Tim Holtz stamp. This is avocado dyed paper. And this is a vintage dictionary page from the 1960s. I just made a little belly band here. And in the belly band is 3 bingo sheets. So these are the very thin paper sheets. And we just put that in there, just make it fit in there. This is the dictionary page. So the middle of it is a page from a floral book that I have. And I did sew a little fabric tab right here. And I loved how this turned out, where the middle was a flower of this signature. So the dictionary page, and on the other side of the dictionary page, we have another one of my junk mail envelopes. This is one of the bigger ones that I've recently been adding to my junk journals. And this one says beautiful, little beautiful stamped piece on a floral backing. I'm going to be honest, this floral backing was added because I made a mistake and I didn't have my book in a spot where it was in a firm spot. So when I went to stamp, it didn't stamp properly. And I don't know what I was thinking. And I said, oh no, I can fix this. And I laid the stamp over it again. And then it just, you can't lay a stamp over another stamp because you're never going to get it to be right. Maybe 10% or 5% of the time you might get it, but most of the time you won't. But it turned out very nicely. So you can always, the moral of the story is you can always fix something. So this is another journaling card that I made. Again, manila folder. And then I have in the background, I have a vintage book sheet. And then on top of that, I have a clear vellum or a white vellum. And then this is a cutout from another Beauty and the Beast book. I thought it was a perfect size for it. So it's Belle and the Beast. And then these are just little stamps. And it's sewn all the way around. So this actually turned out very beautiful. This image here that I fussy cut from the book was perfect size for this. And it fits right in there. See? This is the other side of the avocado dye. This is the other side of the angel, the adult coloring page. Whoop. And again, the stamping, the Franken page that I put together of the books pages. This is the collage side. And on the other side, again, I did some gesso. I think it's gesso that I did. Maybe it's not gesso. Hold on. Let me see what it's called. No, it is. It's acrylic gesso. This is the other page of the lined notebook paper. Avocado dyed, I'm sorry, black bean dyed paper. This is the other side of the ledger page. This is the music sheets, other side. And then I just added a little vintage fabric ruffle. This fabric is from a vintage curtain. And on the other side of the music sheet for this one here, I decoupaged a napkin that has roses in muted colors. This is the reproduction invoice. Coffee dyed paper, and then the other side, which has a reproduction postcard in it in the pocket. And then we go to the signature number 2, and I just wanted to show that I thought that the gap was slightly too big. I think it would have been okay. I'd be okay if the pink was showing, but I wanted to add a little bit to it, and I just so happened to have this vintage lace, so I added this vintage lace to in between the 2 signatures. And again, you have room to grow, obviously, in this. You see the room that you have. So this is the second signature. Again, it's another floral cardstock, double-sided. And I did make pockets in this one as well. This one has another reproduction, like postcard, and then a vintage flashcard. I need to start using my plus ones because I seem to always gravitate to the minus. Coffee dyed paper, very similar, the type of pages in the second signature. Maybe a difference in the color. Like, for example, this is a reproduction invoice, but this one's a pink one. Here's another one of my vintage pockets. I'm sorry. Another one of my junk mailer pockets. And this is just a little fairy tales stamp. And this one, I added a rose, a die cut. There is a paper doily on the background. It's sewn all the way around, and it says happy story. And then it's a manila folder. So I didn't cut off these little guys, but I figured if whoever gets it, or the person that will get it, because this one is sold, can do what they would like with it. Here's another page. Oh my goodness, look at me, how I'm all discombobulated. Sorry. Another page of the ledger book. This was page number 95 and 96. And this one, instead of cutting off the excess, because it was an actual tall, long book, I just folded it twice and then sewed it. So it's a little pocket. And in here is just it's a scrap of the cardstock that I used on the first signature. And then this is just one of those little Tim Holtz strips. I thought just the colors went nicely, and the florals. Black bean dyed paper. Again, the writing paper. This is another one of the adult coloring pages. This was a different angel. This one, she has hearts. And on this one, I used that same Tim Holtz stencil, but I used a blue Tim Holtz ink. Avocado dyed. This is the dictionary page, and on this signature, I decoupaged the muted rose napkin onto this page right here. So here's the other side of the dictionary page. This is the middle of the signature, and on the middle of the second signature, we have a beautiful winter bird. Because if I remember correctly, there was a point where it was winter in Beauty and the Beast. At least in one of the variations and versions that I remember seeing, reading, being introduced to me. So this is one of the floral bird books that I have. The other side of the dictionary page, avocado dyed paper. This is the other side of the angel, and again, the stamping, the lined notebook paper, bean dyed. This is the other side of the vintage ledger pages, and in this one is just another another Tim Holtz little ephemera piece, and then another Tim Holtz strip, collage strip. Again, I thought the colors went really well. This is the music sheet, and we're rounding the end. The reproduction vintage invoice. Copy dyed paper. This is the last page, which is the other side of the cardstock with the little pocket, and these are Tim Holtz ephemera pieces and Tim Holtz ephemera piece. And then this one is just a cardstock type postcard with a pink rose. So I thought that was nice. And the end is, again, the pocket that I mentioned. And in this pocket, you have a reproduction postcard. It looks like it's like a letter. Oops, sorry. 1937 is the reproduction date on here. And then you have a true vintage bingo card. So it's a bingo card, not a bingo sheet or a bingo board. I found that there's a difference. And that's it, guys. So I just wanted to show you. This was, again, made using the insert of a VHS tape for Beauty and the Beast. And this one was, I'm very appreciative, sold. But I did wanted to make a flip through to show you guys. I like to do flip throughs of the journals that I make because it also allows me to go back in and get inspiration for myself for future journals that I would be working on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I do have other journals right now on my website that will be linked below. And I actually will add the website somewhere right here as well, just so you're aware. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I will be doing a flip through of all the other journals that I have posted on my website, just so that you have the ability to have the flip through and really see a little bit more detail that maybe the pictures aren't capturing. Have a beautiful day, guys, and I will talk to you guys later.